Richie Mac Mix.
Quincy Jones was more than just a music producer. He was an architect of sound, style, and influence in the entertainment world. In today's episode, we go beyond his achievements, diving into his relationships, his role in some of pop culture's most iconic moments, and the controversies that followed him throughout his 70-year career. Born in Chicago, like myself, his story began with jazz and took him through the golden age of music, television, and beyond. Let's dive into the story of a true entertainment legend. Quincy Delight Jones Jr. was born on the south side of Chicago in 1933. From his humble beginnings, he emerged as a prodigy drawn to jazz. His big break came with Lionel Hampton's band, leading him to perform with legends and sparking a career that would redefine music.
Come on and ease on down the road. Come on.
Over the decades, Quincy's worked with everybody from Ray Charles to Frank Sinatra, breaking barriers as one of the few black artists orchestrating for white stars. But it was his partnership with Michael Jackson that changed pop history.
Your word is mine. Okay, you're right.
Quincy brought Michael's vision to life, and they went on to create Off the Wall, blending pop, disco, and soul like never before. And then came Thriller. With over 100 million copies sold, Thriller remains the best-selling album of all time. Quincy's personal life was as colorful as his music. He married actress Peggy Lipton, known for her role in the Mod Squad, and they had two daughters together, Kidada and Rashida. Kidada became close to Tupac Shakur, and the two were engaged before his tragic death. Kidada was reportedly with Tupac in Las Vegas the night he was fatally shot, making Quincy's connection to Tupac deeply personal. Despite Tupac's criticism of Quincy's interracial marriage, the two eventually bonded, revealing a complex yet genuine relationship. Quincy didn't just stop in music. He left a lasting legacy in television as well. He composed iconic theme songs like the theme from Sanford & Son. And he helped launch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air,
In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my
a
days.
show that introduced Will Smith to the world. His mentorship extended to artists like LL Cool J, Kool Moe Dee, shaping hip-hop's early days and supporting the next generation of black music. Though Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson made history, their partnership wasn't meant to last. Creative and personal differences eventually caused a rift. Here's an example. Remember the song Billie Jean, one of Mike's biggest hits? Quincy reportedly wasn't initially sold on Billie Jean for a few reasons. Number one, he felt the bass line was too repetitive, and Quincy was concerned that the song sounded too similar to other tracks Mike might have done in the past, and it didn't really fit the style of Thriller. Michael, however, felt strongly about the song. He knew it had the potential to be a hit and insisted it be included on Thriller. He was confident about the song's narrative melody and its distinct bass line, which he had envisioned would resonate with listeners. It's also said the bass line Mike used from Billie Jean was lifted from a song called I Can't Go For That from Hall & Oates. But the resolution was, after much discussion, Quincy ultimately agreed to include Billie Jean on the album, albeit with some adjustments. He brought in the famous jazz musician Louis Johnson to record the iconic bass line, giving it a cleaner, sharper sound that became instantly recognizable. Quincy and Mike spent a significant amount of time perfecting the track. Mike was also highly meticulous, recording it over 91 times to get every detail right. The final compromise, Quincy allowed the song to keep his length and signature bass line, understanding that Michael's instincts on the track were spot on and Billie Jean became one of the defining tracks and a groundbreaking hit. Now, the reason I bring this up is because I think that was the first time Mike had kind of like fought back on what he actually really wanted and fought for. And after Bad, that's when things started to change. Mike started looking for other producers. He started working with Teddy Riley, and things just kind of changed. And they never worked together again after that.
I just can't stop loving you.
Adding fuel to the fire, the story behind Bad was Quincy wanted Prince to join Michael on the track, but the two stars couldn't agree on whose turf they'd meet on. And Prince declined, saying,
First line of that song is "Your butt is mine." Now I said, who gonna sing that to whom? Cause you sure ain't singing it to me, and I sure ain't singing it to you. Right there, we got a problem.
I wanted to do a duet with Prince. It would have been great, man. It really would have, just for drama, man. You know how the fighters do it. And have the video with him coming to kick Michael Jackson. Oh, your butt is mine. I mean, that's what it was written for, I set up a meeting with Prince and Michael, which was the historical night. And Prince finally said, you don't need me to be on this, it'll be a hit without me,
In his later years, Quincy became even more outspoken, sharing jaw-dropping stories in interviews. One of the most talked about claims was that comedian Richard Pryor and actor Marlon Brando had an affair. Whether people believed him or not, his unfiltered take on Hollywood's biggest names gave us a glimpse into a world few have access to, proving he never lost his fearless voice. Quincy's reach extended beyond music. He won 28 Grammy Awards, scored films, and produced cultural touchstones like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, From Off the Wall to Sanford and Son to Thriller. And I'm not even talking about what he did with Ray Charles and Frank Sinatra. I'm not even talking about the things he did with other artists. I'm not talking about Back on the Block. I'm not talking about The Dude. I'm not talking about all the things he did and all the people he influenced. People like Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre, who is considered the hip-hop version of Quincy Jones. His 70-year career was one of constant evolution, innovation, and Like I said earlier, Quincy Jones was more than a musician. He was a visionary who broke barriers and left an indelible mark on music, television, and culture. Quincy Jones passed away on November 3rd, 2024 at the age of 91. He died peacefully at his home in Los Angeles, surrounded by family. The specific cause of death has not been publicly disclosed. However, it is alleged that he died from pneumonia or natural causes. Today, we say goodbye, but Quincy Jones' legacy lives on, inspiring artists across generations. Rest in peace, Quincy. The music world will never be the same. If you like what we're doing here on Zoom TV, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notifications to all, and send in your requests for what stories you want me to tell next. I love doing these stories, man. It really means a lot. I really like to get down and deep, and I really like to show you guys the inside of Hollywood that you may or may not know. You dig? So y'all know what I'm about to say, right? That's a wrap.